Now, unlike the rest of my videos on this channel specifically, I'm not working with a script on this video. It doesn't feel like I should. You know, the death of Stanley, I know it's not, a popular subject anymore as this video is coming out. Like, I get that it's still sort of popular, but not as relevant, because it happened a few weeks ago. However, I felt like I personally wanted to address it. I tried my best. I tried to think, I don't really want to address it that much. Because I didn't want it to seem like I was sort of cashing in on his death. And trust me, I'm not trying to. I just, considering this channel is basically everything nerdy that I love channel, Stanley is definitely an inspiration to many people, including myself, and without him, this channel, nor would probably anybody's lives be the same as it was now. Just a little over a week ago, he left our world. He created a universe, and then had to leave the one he resided in. And when I heard the news about it, I was stunned. I was legit stunned. In my head, I was thinking, he's gonna survive forever. And, in an emotional sense, he will. He will survive forever. But on a physical sense, it made sense. He was well into his 90s. And, he was one of the only celebrities, and I hate using the word celebrity, but he was one of the only celebrities to really affect me, like their passing. And I don't mean that in any disrespect to anybody else. It's just personally, that man meant so much to everybody. Everybody who has ever watched a superhero film, said the name of a superhero, picked up a comic book, and now the guy's gone. Now he's gone. I was originally going to upload this video when the news broke, but I didn't want to do that. I felt like I wanted to take my time, compress all of my words into this microphone. And I think without him, I would not even closely resemble the person I am today. Hell, I'm wearing a Deadpool t-shirt. Like, I didn't even realize I was doing this for this video, and I'm wearing the t-shirt. But just, fuck, man. I'm sitting next to a statue of the Hulk from Loot Crate. I'm not sponsored by them, but that's where it came from. My phone wallpaper is of Spider-Man hugging, Tony Stark. Hell, when I was a kid and I had, severe asthma issues, which I'm not gonna get into, but when I had those, we had these, little treatments, right? These little, I guess, we call them breathing treatments. I don't know what the technical term is, but that's why I called it. And every time it happened and I was a little kid, I was like, I don't want to freaking just stay here. I'm a little kid. I want to bounce around. I want to do stuff. Okay, instead of just sitting here coughing into a machine. And so, my mom would put on superheroes, Spider-Man, Batman, etc., which is probably why I love them so much, why I love this nerdy culture, why I'm not a big, hip, fucking jock of muscle. I mean, look at the muscle, but, just it sucks. It does suck to lose someone like that, who is an inspiration for most people. I don't think a lot of people would be who they are. Would be as creative or as nerdy or as into their shit without him. It's just like nobody would be who they are without a Stan Lee. Without a Stan Lee. Because a person like Stan Lee does not come within a lifetime. It comes within a few lifetimes. A man so creative and so enthralled and imaginative and would persevere through every boundary in his way to achieve the level of success that he had. You know, without him, superheroes wouldn't be a real thing. Like, they would be a thing probably, just because that's comic books, but like, not in the same form. Not at all. We wouldn't have Spider-Man to really boost up, you know, my love for superheroes, because the Sam Raimi trilogy, that whole thing happened. And that's probably what got most people my age into superheroes, because the generation before me, which I just turned 18, they read the comic books. They did all that. So, and they didn't have any movies or television shows, so they got really into it. And then when, you know, movies and TV started really popping up right around the time I was born with these superhero films, like the Spider-Man films, or the many cartoons, like the animated series, you know, that was our taste of it. That was my taste of superheroes. That's my portal. That was my portal into this universe, in this world of just complete batshit insane. You know, people are half man, half spider. This dude's parents died and now he does martial arts. I could be referring to multiple people when I say that. You know, this man, you know, leaps tall buildings within a single bound. You know, this guy, when he has an intense emotion, turns into a green monster. And then the creator of most of them, the creator of most of the people I just mentioned, you know, the most powerful and popular superheroes in the world, he definitely popularized it and influenced it. And it's just crazy to think about. I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. You would not be listening to me. I would not be talking to you. I would not be trying to convey my words into this microphone without a Stan Lee. And, you know, even though I personally never met him, I know I'm too young. Probably some people will be like, wow, man, you're just a kid. I am just a fucking kid. I know that. You don't have to tell me that. But even then, as a kid, he influenced the imagination of everybody, from children to adults as well. And just, like, right after I turned into an adult, this man who has influenced so many people and has been there, you know, he's just always been there, if that makes sense. You know, some people have problems with, like, family and stuff. However, every time they go see a movie, or every time they read a comic book, there's Stan in the page on the screen. You know, we always have a message in his comics, you know, in the back of it or in the middle of it or whatever. Just, hey, reader, how are you doing? Or just, you know, he'd be on the screen and you'd be like, oh man, that's a cool moment. That's the moment, Stan Lee. And now, right after the peak, I would think, the peak of his popularity and the peak of the superhero popularity, at least in my lifetime when Infinity War comes out, he's gone. And I'm not going to make speculation on what's going to happen in the next Avengers. I'm assuming at the end of the movie it's going to be like Excelsior or something. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the tears. Because it's going to happen. I know. As soon as I walk into the theater, I'm going to be like, okay, time to cry. Because it's going to happen. I don't know. Our world would not be the same without a Stan Lee. And I hope the next Stan Lee is such a creative, such a driven, such a just nice guy. And that's one of the main things that's great about Stan. You know, most people, when they get rich and they have money, they become assholes. And I know some social justice warrior asshole is going to be like, oh, actually, he was an asshole. Shut up. Just shut up. Not now. I'm grieving. Watch, I'm going to be on a blog because of that line. But yeah, he was an asshole. He was one of the nicest individuals. One of the most full of life with every message every time you see him. Even though, you know, he had the white hair, of course, he was definitely in his later years, you know, he definitely showed that he was in his later years. Just he always seemed to be such a nice individual. Everybody who's ever met him definitely seems to be, you know, very much thankful to him. He seemed to be incredibly nice, incredibly intelligent, and I hope that the next Stan Lee learns from that and doesn't become an asshole and turns into, you know, the nicest person that he can be. Because Stan Lee, he might have created monsters, you know, in the Hulk and in, you know, all the villains he's created over the years. But he also created heroes, and that's what the world needs always. Or heroes. But Stan, surely, even though, you know, I never met the guy, and he doesn't know of my existence, and while he parties in wherever he is, in his death, wherever you believe, as he's partying there, he's not even noticing that I'm saying any of this, probably. But, you know, I do wish I had met him at least once and shook his hand or something. Just somehow, like at a Comic-Con at something. And just be like, thank you. Because he deserves that. From anybody who's ever said the name of a superhero, everybody who said the word superhero, everybody who's ever read a comic book, anybody who's ever watched a movie about a hero and a villain, and they have powers. He has inspired and influenced billions of people, and I hope he knew that in his final moments. This is the part of the video where I typically, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'm not telling you not to, but, you know, I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to do the whole YouTuber shtick. I'm just not. I put myself into a depressed mood. But yeah, sorry if I ruined your day for this, but have a good day. Bye. Yeah. Also, I realized I looked a lot like the screen. I'm not reading a script. Like, it's just the waveform of the microphone. I just really like looking at it in my thinking moments. It's just, I don't know why. It's just that's what happens. I don't mean to do that.